Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tim Sedano, host of Paranormal Insight. You may have noticed there wasn't an episode this last week. That's because I've had some work going on out in front of my house and they severed the internet line for about 48 hours. Just couldn't put the episode out, so my apologies for that. The reason I'm putting this shorter episode or little video out now is in part because of, well, I wanted to talk about the whole eclipse thing and special shout out to Black Sky UFO for that one. It may not have been his originally, and if it is, brilliantly done. But whoever created that, brilliantly done. It brings to the forefront all this hype about what's going to happen on April 8th. My paranormal partner at Scary, JJ Rose 777, was on a podcast recently, and she put it together pretty succinctly. There is a lot of energetic confluence happening, and I'm more of a scientist than not. And I worked at NASA for a couple of years, and I've always followed space and space exploration and sciences and stuff like that. So for me, an eclipse is not that big of a deal. um, However, there was something we said with regard to the energies that are being put upon this planet. There are a number of things happening. CERN is lighting up their particle accelerator on that date, and everyone's thinking, oh no, it's already shifted us to another reality. I don't necessarily fall in with that group, but I mean, it does exude put out quite a bit of energy to run these experiments. Is there enough energy in being exerted by CERN to push us into an alternate reality? My guess is no. At least not at this time. Perhaps one day we'll get there. But I mean, it would have to be, I think, far more energy than what CERN is putting out. I'd say we'd have to quadruple, at minimum, quadruple CERN's output to even begin to affect our part of the solar system, let alone the galaxy, let alone the universe, to shift us to an alternate reality. A lot of people say, hey, CERN turned on and suddenly we had the Mandela effect. You know what the Mandela effect is for me? I'm a filmmaker. That's what one of the things I do. That's I guess you can call it my professional hobby. I mean, I get paid for it. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of people are misremembering things because new edits of older things have come out. There was a thing where Luke, I am your father from Empire Strikes Back, and the line in the re-edit is, no, I'm your father. So it's just a matter of an edit. You know, there's also the Bing Crosby song, I'll Be Home for Christmas, where in the original lyrics, it says, you can plan on me. I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Plan on me. Everyone remembers Count on Me. That's a later edit. Because it was written by, I think it was written by a British composer. So he sang it multiple times, multiple ways over decades. So it depends on which one you heard or grew up with. Because I remember Count on Me as well. But I've heard Plan on Me too. But see, that's the thing. I think a lot of Mandela effect is really misremembrance. But I digress. We're talking about April 8th and the dare I get hit by Sam Jackson's character, or shot by him. The eclipse. Then there's the major confluences of energy, especially when it comes to the arrows of the point, no, the arrows, the pathways of the point of totality, as far as 2017, 2023, and 2024. There are, and JJ remarks on this in another podcast, that we should look for, look out around Waco, Texas area and look out around Rapture, Indiana, because those are the 2 points where the previous crossovers happened. Isn't that neat? Let's also talk about the path of totality that's running up through the southern part of Texas, all the way up, even like the northeastern part of Canada, and throughout the 48 states. There were supposedly a bunch of places and towns called Nineveh that are in this path compared to the 2017 path of totality, where there were several towns named Salem. The reality is there are not towns named Nineveh. There are places named Nineveh. There are also places named Utopia. There's like 5 or 6 of them. There's places named Angel or Angela or Angels, like 5 or 6 of those. So you can understand where I'm going with this. You can paint a 115-mile wide shadow, which is how big the path of totality is in a solar eclipse, um, across any part of the world, and you can make those connections. It doesn't necessarily mean anything. Now, I will go back to what JJ Rose was saying. There are energies to be aware of. We're in a massive planetary alignment tomorrow. This is April 7th, by the way. Yeah. So these alignments do put a gravimetric stress on us, and it does alter our perception. We are aware of it to one degree or another. It's just the nature of our solar system. So keep that in mind. Are there a lot of fun circumstances happening? Sure. Are there a lot of scary circumstances happening? Sure. And to alleviate these stresses, to put your best foot forward for not only yourself, but those you love, and those maybe you don't even know. Tomorrow, and this is a band-aid approach, I will grant you, and it is something that is a little more metaphysical. But tomorrow, on April 8th, when you first get up, and I'm gonna write myself a little post-it note. I got one over here on my wall. You can't see it, but it's there. Think about the good stuff, man. Think about how much you love your spouse, how much you love your kids, how much you love your dog, your cat, whatever, your house, the piece of land you live on, the city you live in. Keep that positive vibe all day long. Maybe listen to a couple of nice frequencies. I think the love frequency is about 1 or 2 hertz. There's frequency generators online. And you can't hear it, but you can feel it if you put your headphones on. You can even unplug your headphones, just play the love tone all day long. You won't even know it. And you'll feel pretty good. Put positivity out there. If you're that afraid, elect to make the world change the way you want it to, if you feel that's what's going to happen tomorrow. Put those positive vibes out there, and I think you're going to see, at least feel for that day, that everything's going to be fine. Just be positive. Be positive. And that positivity will be reflected. We'll come out on the other end of an eclipse, which only lasts for 2 hours in one location, I might add, give or take. Just fine. So that's my advice to you. Be positive. Put love out there. Turn on the love frequency if you're so inclined to listen to it for a few minutes. And if you do happen to be in a part of the country where the eclipse is a little more noticeable, because out here in California, we're going to see like a fifth of the sun get covered, and we're barely going to notice it. It's going to look like cloud cover for a while. And but I mean, if you're if you're closer to the path of totality and you are going to be an observer, some towns have taken it upon themselves to really beef up their security. We're hearing about National Guard deployments. We're hearing about um, even chemical response teams being deployed. It's just bizarre. I have to admit that one throws me. So, and I don't even know if that's actually true. I only saw that on one news source that put that out there. Um, so do your own research. Grant, you take everything you read and see with a grain of salt, but make sure you protect your eyes if you watch the eclipse. There is eye protection available in most stores, or you can use the pinhole method for observation. It's a lot safer. You still want to wear sunglasses though, for sure. And when you observe it again, or know what's happening again, put the good vibes out there. You'll never know. It'll just be that better foot forward that you out there took, and I'm going to do it too, to make the world, or to ensure that the world is that much better of a place when we come out the other side of the eclipse. Okay, so that's it. That's the end of the advice from Uncle Tim. My name is Tim Sudano, and I'm your host here at Paranormal Insight. Thank you much, and have a good, happy, safe Eclipse Day.